Welcome to the Betancur Method, where we explore leadership, mindset, and the systems that shape where we're becoming. Today we have a very special guest. He's an occupational therapist, a fitness trainer, got his master's at the Florida Agricultural Mechanical University, and is a mental health advocate. Calvin Bryant, thank you so much for coming, man.
Thank you for having me here.
Absolutely, man. So it's been I feel like 2 days of us just talking and just kind of getting it going, and this is just a recap. And we're going to keep it going. And I would love to have you another one because I feel like there's so much that we're going to talk about that's going to take another one to really keep it going. But first and foremost, man, who are you and what do you do?
Well, my name is Calvin Bryant, and they call me Big 40.
Big 40.
Big 40, that's what everybody calls me. And I'm originally from Tifton, Georgia, but I grew up in Jacksonville, Florida. And I went to school for college at Charleston Southern University in South Carolina. And I got my master's at FAMU, and I graduated 2020. And I'm just a human. That's it. Mm-hmm. A lot of people look at the outside cover, but they don't know the person on the inside.
Yeah.
They judge a book by its cover and think everything's okay. They don't think that there's a lot of hardship and a lot of growing pains that I go through because I made things look so easy to them. Little do they know that this comes from a lot of hard work and dedication and a lot of time to yourself and having to hold yourself accountable when nobody else wants to hold you accountable. Mm-hmm. So
I heard that, man. And so you're, like you said, you're doing a lot, man. And it seems like you're mixing entrepreneurship, mental health, fitness all into one. Like, what drove you to combine all of that into what you're doing, man?
So when I became an entrepreneur, I didn't understand it. I just did it because it was the new wave. The whole world was changing. This was around COVID back in 2019, 2020. So as I was getting into it, I didn't understand the principles of being an entrepreneur. And one of the things about being an entrepreneur, you got to be headstrong. In order to be headstrong, your mental health has to be together if you want to be successful. And I have seen where a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs are not successful for one thing. Their mental health is not together. It's not everything else because everything else is working. But the person who is the driving force is not working on themselves. They're too busy trying to keep up a status quo and be that guy and make all this money, but behind closed doors, they suffering.
Yeah.
They not happy with themselves, but they got all this money right here, but they have nothing to show for it. They give back, but they don't have something to love or somebody to love on them. So it's like they're looking at life as a job when it's not supposed to be a job.
Man, I hate seeing that, man. It kind of gets me thinking to several years back where you see a lot of these successful people and they just like commit suicide or they go down this deep hole. Like I remember like Mac Miller. Like, seemed like a super happy dude, man. Like, loved his music, man. Seemed like always had a smile on his face. And then, like, out of nowhere, you hear that he's gone OD'd, man. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And that has to do with, like, kind of the mental health side of stuff. Where it's like they don't focus on, like, trying to have their minds in a good place and clear, man.
Oh, yeah. Matt Miller, he was a person that, and I love Matt Miller, but he had some things going on with himself that was holding him back. So he wasn't in his right mind. Yeah. It's like when you're not in your right mind, you don't think clearly, and the mind is a terrible thing to waste. When you're sitting up in that room and you're looking at those four walls, those thoughts can bounce off that wall and you can make it believable. Then you start going into the environment and then you start to act on these things and next thing you know, it's like collateral damage.
Yeah.
At some point in time, you're a ticking time bomb, and it's only gonna wait. It's only until you reach your breaking point that you say, you know what, I'm ready to just take my life and just end it.
Yeah.
And it's like, why? Why would you do that when you got so much ahead of you? You just don't know. It's only because you're being led by something that's earthly and external. When you're supposed to dig into the internal and figure out what's the real purpose. What's the real reason why these things are happening for me, not to me?
So somebody in that, let's say in that same position, right? I mean, maybe their life is going good, but like they know they're struggling with something internal that they don't know how to like process or get through. Like, what's the first step to getting past those barriers and those things that are going through their mind, man, so they don't end up committing suicide or end up ruining their lives, man.
First of all, it's having awareness
Mm-hmm.
that you're going through something. That's the first thing. You got to be aware that it's hindering your growth. It's hindering your confidence, physically and mentally.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody's going through that, I always tell them, find an accountability partner. Find somebody who is doing better than you
Mm-hmm.
and not doing the things that you're doing, and ask those questions. Have them to critique you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all part of being disciplined. You gotta be willing to be coached up.
Yeah.
We don't know everything. We were taught how to walk. We were taught how to talk. We were taught how to eat. We were taught how to play football.
Everything,
We
bro.
did not learn just by saying, okay, I wake up this morning, I know how to play football. No, somebody taught you.
Dang,
They
man, that's
looked
real.
at everything that you did and say, okay, you did that right, and you're doing this wrong. You need to prove upon that. But see, we got so headstrong and we got so grown that we don't know how to be gullible. We don't know how to go back to being that kid again and say, you know what, Daddy, what you want me to do? Mommy, what you want me to do? I'm finna go do it. And I'm gonna do it 100%. And then if I don't do it right, we're supposed to be the ones that direct them.
Yeah.
So everybody needs to be helped. Everybody needs direction. So you need to find somebody who's pure, who's living that lifestyle that leads to prosperity and longevity, and is impacting the environment in a very positive way.
Yeah.
The crazy part about it is we got a lot of people who act like they're that person, and they're really not that person, and that's who they're following. It's called propaganda.
Yeah.
And I don't.
There's a lot of those people.
There's a lot of those people, and we don't. You're not supposed to build yourself off a trend, because you're supposed to set the trend.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be the one that set the mark for everybody else. And if you're gonna set the mark, that means you're the guinea pig. That means you're the one that's gonna hold everybody accountable. Because if you mess up, everybody's gonna do what? Point the finger at you. But at least I take it.
Mm-hmm.
You want to hold me accountable? Let's go there. Because guess what? Just like you hold me accountable, you better have that same energy when I come back at you. This is supposed to be a partnership. This is supposed to be a
So
relationship.
that's like that iron sharpens iron. Like,
Iron
you need
sharpens
somebody,
iron.
bro, because people think that you could just kind of do things by yourself, and
Yep.
that's when they start getting. And some people I've seen some people have maybe minimal success where it's like, hey, like, I've done it all by myself, and then they get to this point where they stuck, bro, and like they kind of hit that glass ceiling, and they ain't going further. Right, because they need other people around you, right? And I love what you mentioned earlier. It takes awareness. Like, that's the first step. Now, it got me thinking: is awareness and acceptance is it the same thing, or is that kind of like different?
No, awareness, not acceptance. It's just being aware of what you got going on, whether you accept it or not. Because what you got to accept is what's gonna come next. If you have awareness, if you want to change it, you gotta accept what's gonna be said to you.
Yeah.
One of my mentor is actually a guy that I work with at the gym, Travis Norton. I know everybody knows him. He's the owner at Chaos. And one day, he picked me up, and I just asked him. I said, Coach, I want to be successful, man, but I want to do it right. I say, tell me what I need to do. Tell me what I need to change. Because I seen it one way, but I see you doing something way different from what I'm used to before.
Yeah.
I want to know. And he say, Coach Calvin, you really want to know? Do you really want to know? And I'm sitting there looking at him like, yes, I do. And he said, because when other people ask me that, I don't get the same answer. I don't get the same energy when I tell them what needs to happen. But he's only going based off of what he knows.
Yeah.
So all you can do is take it in, the information. Whether you like it or not, you gotta accept it. That this might be what it is. Now,
So what did he say? He just real with you, like
just real. He said, this is what you gotta do. And it's gonna require a lot of sacrifice, because I have already told him the things that I've done and all my flaws. And he's looking at me saying, okay, Coach Calvin, that's something that can be worked on. But it's gonna take time, it's gonna take effort, and it's gonna take a lot of sacrifice. I gotta sacrifice a lot of things that I was doing in order to align myself, with the common goal. Because me and him got common goals.
Yeah.
So in order for me to at least get in in the driver's seat, I got to align myself. So I was a fly on the wall. I sat back and watched. I became a student. I became gullible again. I'm like a child. I'm asking questions. Coach, hey, look, I seen that. What you mean by that? And he don't mind giving the knowledge, because at the end of the day, I'm asking. But it's a man asking a man, and that's hard for men to do. They don't want to sit up here and talk about the things. They want to be their own man and be macho man.
Can't nobody tell me.
Can't nobody tell me nothing. But it's only because we've been taught like that when we've been growing up. We never been taught to talk. We always been taught to what? Handle our stuff, because ain't nobody else gonna do it for you. Ain't nobody else gonna do it for you. And that's what I learned growing up with being a single parent household. So I felt like I had to get it out the mud, as they say, when I really didn't. It's just that, now, don't get me wrong, that's a good thing, because it builds resilience, it builds grit, it builds a lot of things. But as you get older, and as you are starting to see the world in a different way, you understand that, okay, I don't have to do it by myself. I can get a little feedback. I can get a little critique. Because it's going to elevate me and not keep me stagnant and in this life of mediocrity.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I love that you share that, because I think one of the most powerful things, and you hit on it, you might not have said the word, but you've hit on it very clearly. One of the most powerful characteristics I've seen is humility, man. Because you're telling me that you had another man come to you and be like, hey, bro, this is what you got to do. You doing this wrong, you got to do this. And then that's completely, like, that's way different. Like you said, that's way different than what we were taught. That's way different than what we see a lot, right? Like whether it be on social media, TV, whatever the case may be. And that's kind of part of that maturity and growth, to understand that, like, hey, if I keep doing what I used to be doing, like, I'm not going to be successful. I'm not going to be at a point where I need to be, right? Like I mentioned yesterday, like, there was a point in my life where I knew I wanted to be very successful. Like, on a basis, I might not know how to do that, but I just knew I wanted to be successful. So one thing I started doing is, okay, what are other people doing, right? What are those successful people that I've seen? What are they doing? And let me try to follow that. Let me not try to just reinvent the wheel, but let me see what they're doing. Let me start with that. I told you, I used to hate reading. I used to hate waking up early. The two things that I saw about successful people, at least like two common factors, they woke up early, they love to read. And that's how I just started doing that, man. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to focus my mind and I'm going to focus my efforts on doing those two things, and I'm gonna fall in love with it, man. Now it's like years later, I love to wake up early, even though sometimes I might not feel great. Exactly. I just love to. I love to read, man. Like, it helps me become that person who I know I see and who I can be. You know what I mean? So that concept with the humility, like, how do you get there, man?
Your gratitude is your latitude. Everybody gonna go through something in their life, and it's always to test your faith, to see how faithful you say you really are.
Yeah, man.
And when we're growing up, a lot of people that grow up and they become arrogant, it is not by saying like, oh, I'm this and I'm that. No. By law, at 18 years old, you are legally an adult. So that means that you can do whatever you want to do.
Right.
But just know that because you do whatever you want to do, it comes at a cost. Before 18, you can go home to your parents and they can discipline you. But at 18, whether you are a man or not, a woman or not, you are legally. So when that happens, we start to what? Create a lifestyle for ourselves. After that, we start saying, you know what? I got this. I'm doing good for myself. I'm doing so good for myself. You know, I'm making money. I'm having fun. I'm living life. But then in the same breath, you don't even understand that there's more to life that you have to do.
Yeah.
There's an agenda for you, and you're not following the agenda. Even though you're making money, even though you're doing good, you're still not following the agenda. And you're wondering why things are not going your way or why you haven't hit that mark is because you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So you're not receiving the prosperity of what you're doing. You just living life with no purpose. So when you start figuring out what your purpose is, you'll start seeing that you have to be humble because your purpose requires you to do great acts in the world. it does not require you to just go out there and just do what you want to do. Every day you got a chance and a choice to make. What choice are you making? And you have to make a choice of basically not doing not doing what everybody else is doing. So when I was doing what everybody was doing, partying like it was 1999, out every weekend. I also wanted to be like 50 Cent. It don't coincide.
Yeah.
Because he's always about discipline. He's always about making money. He's always about creating a lifestyle that's going to be successful for years to come. And I looked at him and I said, I want to be like that. I want to be like that. And he said, there's one thing. I always listen to him, but this one thing he said, back in 2003, when I was on tour, everybody used to go out after the concerts. I went back in the room and tried to figure out what was the next step, what was going to be the next wave, because I knew that at the end of the day, this is not going to last me forever. So I took that as partying is not going to last forever. Yeah. What do I have to show for myself after that? And if it's just working at a gym and not really prospering in the community, then I don't feel like I live the life that I'm supposed to live. I'm supposed to be out here impacting people so that they can impact people so that they can impact people. We're all part of the same process.
That's true.
So at the end of the day, me helping you go party is not being humble. Because what if you don't have no car? Now you're going to try to figure out a way to get there. You're trying too hard to do things that God is telling you, hey, stop doing that. So one thing that that I'm going to give you an example of humility.
Yeah.
Back in 2023, I told God this. I had a conversation with him one night because I'm a type person. Nobody has to tell me about myself. I know me. I know my flaws. I know my good sides and my bad sides. You ain't got to tell me how I am. I know me. So I said, God, I got a little arrogance to me. I got a little pride to me. Teach me gratitude in the most nonchalant way possible, because you keep showing me and I'm not listening. So I needed for it to hurt a little bit.
So you knew you wasn't listening?
I knew I wasn't listening. So he said, cool, that's what you want? I said, yes, sir. Took away my car. They say, figure it out. And left. And he said, ain't no calling nobody. Ain't no finessing, ain't no, figure it out. But if you want me to get, the thing about it is, I'm going to show you the way to figure it out. You just got to do what? Follow it.
You got to do it.
You got to do it. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to hurt. You're going to have some days when you cry. You're going to have some days when you want to give up, when you want to quit. You're going to have some days when you do all that. I'm going to tell you right now, walk down that street. Walk down out your house that I gave you and walk down that street and look at that homeless man laying on the curb and tell me you not blessed.
Man.
Go walk down the street, look at that person who got their sign on the curb saying, can I eat? And tell me you not blessed. But you want to go out here and do all that and try to give me the glory when I told you that ain't what I want you doing. I actually want you to walk down that street with what I gave you and give him some clothes, some food. Those are the acts that I need you to do, because you don't understand how I'm going to bless you in the long run. I want you to go work with these kids and teach them discipline and teach it to them the way it was supposed to be taught to you, so that they, who are going to run the world in a couple of years, they understand what it means to be disciplined, what it means to be a leader and not just a manager. Not just a boss. You actually lead by example. That's what I want you to do. Not going out here and turning up with your friends and y'all just doing whatever for what? Just to do it the next day? Y'all not growing. Y'all growing a different way. But after a while, somebody gonna be like, somebody gotta say, we gotta stop this. Why not me? Why not me?
Yeah.
People be saying, why me? God be like, why not me? So I'm saying, you know what? Why not me? Let me be the guinea pig. Yeah. If I gotta take the bait, I'ma take the bait. But guess what? I'm inspiring that little boy. Yeah. I'm inspiring that little girl, and I don't even know it. She just looking at me. I don't know it yet. But I probably find out 20 years later about something that I did 20 years ago. But it's because I was following, and God recognized it. I don't need nobody validation. Yeah. I need one. Just had somebody the other day, I was talking to him, having a deep conversation. They always talking about they. I say, who is they? Who is they? He couldn't give me a name. Tell me right now, who is they? Because I only know one. I only know one. And what he says to me is law. So if you want to believe they, that's why you in the situation you in now, because you believe they. I started believing him, and I started believing one person, and he told me everything I need to know. Whether I liked it or not. Yeah. He just said, it is what it is, my brother. What choice are you going to make today? Yeah.
That's crazy. So you talked a lot about teaching discipline. Why are some people able to stay disciplined and kind of keep that going and stay consistent and everything, and some people aren't?
It's all about looking at the person in the mirror. It's all about having accountability for yourself. See, everybody wants somebody to have accountability for them. That only works for so long. AJ, when we leave here, you going home and I'm going home. When I go in my house, I still got to hold myself accountable. I can't call you every 5 minutes to hold me accountable. At some point in time, I got to put my big boy pants on and say, you know what? I got to do it because AJ not here today. Mm-hmm. You know? So it's all about looking at the person in the mirror. But see, when everybody looking at the person in the mirror, they don't want to change the person in the mirror. They want to run away from the person in the mirror because they understand that in order to be disciplined, you got to change your ways. Everybody has a flaw. Everybody has something about them that they need to work on. But we live in this day and age where, why? Yeah. Why? You only live once. Why work on that? You might as well just go out and have fun. That's not what we put on this earth for. So you getting away from your purpose. When you get away from your purpose, you become undisciplined because you start taking on other things that you don't need to be taking on. So when you do that, you start forgetting things. Like, oh, I'm not going to the gym today. Why? Yeah, I'm sleeping in. Why? Give me a reason. Because as far as I know, you were supposed to be here today. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I went out last night. So, okay, that's an excuse. Okay, that's an excuse. Did you get a workout in? Did you do anything? Nah, I just stayed in the bed. So now you're creating excuses. Now you're allowing yourself to become undisciplined, even though you know you're supposed to get up. That's a gut check. Yeah. And a lot of people don't want to have that gut check conversation because now they got to be real with themselves. I don't mind being real with myself. I'd rather be real with myself and then get clarity from you. Yeah. But if you see something from a different lens, I'm glad you said that too.
A lot of times I don't feel good, man. Like whenever you got to be real with yourself, like, hey, yo, this is who I actually am. I thought I was somebody else. And I think what's cool is that one of the main things that I tell a lot of people that I coach and that I mentor is that you got to figure out, one, who you want to be, who you are right now, and then figure out how you want to get there. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of why I think people don't continue to stay disciplined, don't continue to live the life that they want to live is because it just doesn't align with their identity. Like, it doesn't align with who they believe they are, right? So there's somebody that could say, oh, yeah, you know, I want to be successful. I want to be this person. I want to be that person. And then, just like you said, Friday night, Saturday nights, out there partying, out there doing this. Like, that goes exactly, like, opposite of what they're trying to do. You know what I mean? Because it kind of goes against.
Oh yeah.
Kind of goes against that, man.
It goes against it.
Point, man.
And like for me, I've been undisciplined. But when I started making changes, I said, you know what? The things that I do, let me just go to the gym and not do it. So if I'm partying all night, let me go to the gym at 11 o'clock at night and get done at 12 and see if I feel like I want to go out. By the time I get done,
you ain't gonna want to go back out, huh?
I used to do it.
Yeah.
I used to get done and go out. But then next thing you know, I started seeing that it was counterproductive. Yeah. So I said, you know what? Let me not. And let me see. Let me just try it out. And when I seen like, dang, I got more rest. Yeah. I'm waking up. I feel a lot better. I'm looking at God like, and he like, yeah, yes sir, yes sir, good. Keep it going though. Yeah. Keep it going, but I understand that you might piggyback because that's you fighting your flesh. Yeah. And I understand that it's a battle right now. It's like you on a seesaw right now. You want to be on this side, but you keep reverting back to that side because it's fun. It looks appealing, but it's not helping you achieve your purpose. So you got to keep the main thing.
Absolutely. So 40, before we close off here, what is the best advice you give somebody listening right now to be able to just change their life?
Take time out for yourself and really talk to either a mentor, somebody who is not, somebody who might be similar to you, somebody who's not similar to you, that's actually doing good and actually has that you actually have a good rapport with, that inspires you, and they will start to give you feedback on yourself. But I also say this: read self-help books, because the mind's a terrible thing to waste. I went to school for psychology too. So I understand how the human brain functions. I understand that everything that you do is learned through classical conditioning, things like that, operant conditioning. So when I look at things like that, I always see like, okay, why is that person like that? What do they do? What caused them? What caused them to get like that? Because everything's about cause and effect. So when you look at it from that standpoint, it allows you, the self-help books allows you to create how can I say this? A vision of who you are. Because you can compare to somebody in that book.
Yeah.
Like I compare myself to 50 Cent all the time. So when I read the 50-year law, I'm looking at things like, okay, that's what I could have used in football. I didn't understand that. But now that I got this self-help book, it helps me build a backbone, I guess, a foundation. There you go, a foundation of who I am supposed to be and how I am supposed to move.
I love that, man.
And you need that. We all need rules. We all need structure. We need it, but we need real structure. Real structure. And it comes from being around good people and also doing good things to yourself and to the environment. When all that accumulates together, you have an understanding of what's good and what's bad.
That's amazing, man.
So
that's amazing. I appreciate you sharing that, man. That's such a big thing that sometimes nowadays we gotta hear is like, hey, find somebody that's doing it, learn from them, and then you kind of get a step closer to who you want to be.
How was let's see. Let's go to sports. Everybody love Kobe Bryant. Everybody love LeBron James. How you think they learned? What was the first thing they saying? Kobe said he was looking at who? Michael Jordan. How to be great. LeBron said he was looking at who? Jordan. How to be great. So somebody is always going to be the anchor. Michael Jordan said who it was. He said it was Dr. J. You see what I'm saying? It's always somebody that comes before you that's going to have it a little bit better than you, but that's okay. That's in order to help you be the best version of yourself. Okay, Kobe didn't win 6 championships. He won 5 though, and he went to 7. I think that's a pretty successful career. He actually tried. He actually followed through, and he worked the plan, and he understood what it took, and he put in the work. And when he talked to Jordan, Jordan told him things that was gonna make him better. That's gonna separate himself from his peers. So when people talk about him, they say what? Kobe different. Kobe ain't like nobody whoever came into this league.
Mamba mentality.
Why was that developed? He went through trial and error. He went through losses. He went through hardships. Airball in the playoffs. Everybody said, "Oh, he a bust." Okay, cool. I'm finna go back. I'm finna work on my 3.
Yeah.
When I come back next year, I'm gonna be better than that. I'm gonna show y'all that I can really do this, and I'm never gonna give up on myself.
There we go. Man, this was good. 40, I appreciate that.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
You already know we got to run it back.
Yes, sir.
Again, we will. For everybody listening, thank y'all so much. Please follow us, subscribe on the Betancur Method channel on YouTube. If you're looking for coaches or anything else, also go ahead and follow Big 40 Caliber Fit on Instagram. He'll get y'all right. So this is the Betancur Method. Appreciate y'all for listening.